All right, so we are going to be working on this worksheet. Again, it is just the evens on here. So 2 through 18 is what we're going to be doing. Should be doing that either on this sheet directly or on a separate sheet. Might be easiest just as a separate sheet to not necessarily print this, but just to write down your problems and work and then turn that into me. Let me just talk a little bit about how things have changed. I know that this was our normally scheduled day, but things have switched a little bit in our schedule again. All right, we're always kind of constantly trying to monitor how things are going, adjust as we need to in this situation. So we've gone to a little bit more consistent schedule where Mr. Reese and I will teach just Mondays and Wednesdays, and Miss Hickey and Miss Hughes are on Tuesday, Thursdays, and then Friday is reserved for tests and time to do your work on that day. So all work for me is due on Fridays now. So it's not like I'm going to assign something that I'm assigning you today is not due next class period necessarily. If you want to turn it in today, that's fine. But it's not actually due until Friday. Okay, and Friday at 11 is what deadline we've set for all the work for the week there. So if you don't complete this today, that's fine. Just make sure you get it to me by Friday at 11. So I just want to take a look at our schedule for the week then as well. So we're working on this worksheet today. This will be our last section specifically on practicing the quadratic formula. And then on Wednesday, we're going to do a short lesson in class. I am not actually assigning those notes as a graded assignment since we're doing it in class. But if you want to do the notes in advance, you're welcome to watch the video. This is the last video I actually have for you for the year. And everything else from here will be live lessons. So if you are somebody who's been kind of working ahead, you'll need to wait until class for the lessons for everything here forward. So we will have that on Wednesday and a IXL section that goes along with it. There was at least one person, I think, that did BB12 instead of BB11 for our practice. So if you want to check on that, I believe it might have been Zane. So Zane, if you want to check your IXL, I think you did BB12 instead of BB11 for me. So you've sort of worked ahead, but you want to go back. I'm not going to mark it late for you since I think you thought you were doing the right section, but you may want to go back and do BB11 before Friday for me so that you don't get marked late on that. So on Friday, normally there would be office hours in the morning from 9 until 11 to help you with any work that you need to finish up for the due date deadlines. This Friday, however, you guys probably know that you have a test with Mr. Reese in the morning, and I'm going to be helping out with that in terms of monitoring on Zoom. So I won't have my office hours from 9 to 11 because of that, and then from 11 to 12, I'm going to give myself a lunch break, and then I have a pre-algebra test. So the other groups have a test on this Friday as well. So you guys don't have a test. Somebody asked me, there was a rumor, I guess, going around that we had a test. Algebra doesn't have a test until the 15th of May. So a few weeks away still. 2 weeks from this Friday is when that will be. So we still have a bit of work on this unit to do, including review and practice tests and all of that kind of stuff. So once that test week rolls around, I'll give you some more information, but that's not until the 15th for you guys, okay? Any questions on our schedule for the week? All right, it's kind of a short, abbreviated schedule. All right, get one more in here. All right, so let's go back to our worksheet. And keeping in mind that this is going to be, we're using the quadratic formula here. We're not completing the square. So we don't have to divide by the first coefficient. We don't have to take half of this. All right, we're just using the values as they exist for these. So in the quadratic formula, the formula is, let me switch over to our whiteboard real quick. So share this. So our quadratic formula is x equals the opposite of b, or negative b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4a times c all over 2 times a. All right, so a, b, and c are the a and b are the coefficients, a being the coefficient for the first term, b the coefficient for the second term, and c is whatever the constant is in our equation. So let me go back and just grab one of these problems from the worksheet just so we can do one as an example. Then we'll split into some rooms. So let's do, let's say let's do number 7. So let me just copy this actually, see if it'll copy and paste onto our whiteboard for me. All right, let's see what that turns out as. All right, not fantastic, so I'm just going to rewrite it over here. So it is 4b squared plus 8b plus 7 equals 4. Okay, so let me just get that out of the way. Come on. All right, let's just put it in the trash. All right, so for this problem, when you have, and you want to use the quadratic formula, unlike completing the square, you do actually need it to equal 0. When you're completing the square, it's not quite as necessary as it is here, because you're going to, in completing the square, you're going to wind up moving this over here anyway and clearing out that spot. But for this, we need c to actually be the right term. And for that to be the case, we actually have to have it equal 0. So the first thing I need to do before I can actually plug this into the quadratic formula is to get this off of that side. And let me see, I've got some people sending me some chats. Let me see if I can locate my chat screen here. Let's see. I don't know where my chat screen went. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So the questions that are coming in is, are we doing evens or odds? For all, again, we're doing evens on this. So let's see here. Let me get back to my, all right. Sorry about that. So we want to subtract 4 from both sides so that this equals 0. So we get 4b squared plus 8b plus 3 equals 0. Now we're going to plug all of this into our quadratic formula. And so as I plug in, I'm going to use the opposite of b first. So that is going to be negative 8 plus or minus the square root of b squared. That's 8 squared. This b squared is always going to come out positive. So whether that is a negative 8 or a positive 8, it's always going to come out positive. So that will wind up being 64. So minus 4 times a, well, a is 4 itself, times c, c again is 3. So that's all in the radical. And then over 2 times a again is 4. All right, so we're going to simplify in the radical first, and I'll simplify the bottom as well. So going to do 64. So this is negative 4 times 3. You can do whatever order you want in that. So I'll do negative 4 times 3. That is negative 12 times 4. So negative 48 or minus 48. Let's see if I got one more coming in here real quick. And admit that person. So somebody asked me if I could do an even. I'm gonna wait for you guys to get into the rooms before I answer questions about the evens. So we're just gonna do one of these odd examples first, and then we'll get into the evens when we get into the rooms there. So, and then 2 times 4 is 8 on the bottom here. So 64 minus 48 is 16. So this square root of 16 over 8. And so just move this up a little bit so I get some more space. So we're going to have negative 8 plus 4 over 8, or negative 8 minus 4 over 8. All right, the 4 is coming from the square root of 16, so that's the plus 4 and the minus 4. So simplifying this, we get negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4 over 8, which simplifies to negative 1/2. Negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12 over 8, which simplifies to negative 3 over 2. All right, so those are our 2 solutions there on that problem. So again, that problem, let me switch back to our screen here for our worksheet is all right, so that is number 7. All right. Somebody asked real quick about number 4. All right, number 4 is already equal to 0, so we don't have to do anything with any of these initially other than just plug it into the formula. So make sure that you're using the opposite of b. So for number 4, that would become 3. Okay, and then a is 2, and then c is negative 5. So all of that should just plug in and simplify. All right, do we have any questions on that problem, that worksheet at this point? If not, we're going to go ahead and split into groups here. All right, so Jaden sent a question, said, can you go over what to plug in again? All right, so let me just go back to, actually, let's just go back to the worksheet for a second. Let's see, oops, if I get to the right spot here. All right, so share. All right, so for these, all right, we're gonna plug in negative b for any of these, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So a for this one is going to be 1 technically, right? Because there's no coefficient. So if it's not showing, the coefficient is 1. So our a value is 1 on this. Our b value is negative 4. And our c value is 4. All right, here our a value would be 2. Our b value is negative 3. Our c value is negative 5. All right, so depending on what your equation is what value you're plugging in. Okay, so you just need to have that formula in front of you. Hopefully you're starting to get it committed to memory a little bit. If not, you need to start doing so. And so those are the values you're plugging in: A, B, and C, depending on what portion of the formula you're plugging into. All right. Hopefully that answers your question, Jaden. Let me just locate you and see if that's the case. All right. Jaden, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Did that answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
right,
thank you.
All right. So Mia asks for number 2, would the B value change to a positive? So the answer that I assume you're talking, Mia, about the negative B part. Let me just come to you real quick. Mia, is that what you're talking about, the negative b part?
Yes.
Yeah. So anytime you have a negative value for your b coefficient, when you plug it into that portion, yes, it would become its opposite. So it would become positive. So both for 2 and for 4, that b value becomes positive.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for the question. Emily asked, will I still have office hours from 2 to 3 every day? And the answer to that is yes, except on Fridays. All right. Fridays office hours will be earlier in the day for me. But Monday through Thursday, it is still 2 to 3. And my office hours, except this Friday, because I'm helping out with the test in Mr. Reese's class. The test is, my office hours normally on Friday would be from 9 to 11. So 2 hours to help you out with anything that you may need at that point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and split up into some rooms. I'm gonna let it split you up. So if you, once you get into the room, if you wanna send me a request, if you wanna move to somebody else, we'll see about doing that. So let's see, looks like we have this is where people start to drop off a bit. So we're still around 30. So I'm gonna go ahead and try, let's see, let's try 5 rooms and see how that works out. All right, gonna go ahead and open these up. If you wanna send me a request to switch somewhere, we'll do that. Guys, how's this going in here? Do you want me to, is this room okay, or do you want to go into rooms where there's some more people? Is anybody actually here?
I think we're good.
All right. If you want, just give me a shout. I'll because it looks like at least one of the rooms dropped down to only like 2 people, so I moved them. So if you guys want to go somewhere where there's a few more people, that's fine. Otherwise, you can stay here. That's good too.
Okay.
Oh. My mic isn't working, if you can hear me. Like I can't hear it. Like if you might be able to hear me, but I can't hear what you're saying. I don't know why.
For some reason, there we go. All right. For some reason, it muted me when I came in the room. So, all right. So there are 2, looks like 3 rooms with some people in it. One has Chase Elijah, Evan, Lily, and Reese. The other half,
Okay.
Alejandro, August, and Jacob. The third one is Cameron, Chris, and Nick.
I'll go to the one with Evan, Elijah.
All right. And Bryson, you said you wanted to go with Alejandro. Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right. So let me move. That's room 2 for Donovan and room 3 for Bryson.
There are still people in the main room.
Okay. Kyla, let's see. Kyla, I'm putting you in room 2. Kirsten and Kellen, did you guys want to join a room, or are you still there?
Once you break it up, I got it to 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus actually wait, let me just simplify it further. I got 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 40 over 4.
It'd be positive 40 because the negative 4 times the 2 would be a negative 8. Then the negative 8 times negative 5 will be a positive 40. This would be over what? 4.
We have to do all of them, right?
Evens.
Okay, thank you.
Up to 18.
Yes, up to 18. X equals 3 plus or minus square root of 249 over 4.
But I still didn't
right?
get the answers that for number 4. I still didn't get the answers he got.
Did you get 49?
Yeah. I got 40. I got 3.
Then what's
plus,
the square root of 49 is what?
That's the issue because I was being stupid.
Alexa,
7.
what is the square root of 249?
It's 7.
The square root of 249 is 15.7797.
There's no square root of 249.
No, but there's square root of 49.
I know, but there, Evan.
Yep. Wait,
What would you
where
do
did-
on number 6?
Number 6. All right. So I got negative 3 plus or minus 9 plus 160 over 4. And then that simplified to negative 3 plus or minus 13 over 4.
Wait, hold on. So x equals negative 3 plus or minus square root of 9 plus 240 over 4.
No, plus 160.
160.
4
Did
times.
Did I do B
20,
again? I
which
did
is
B
80
again. I
times-
did B again.
Oh,
I keep doing BC.
Alright.
I don't know why. Okay, so that would be a negative 8. Negative 8. Okay, 160.
Is there a square root of 151?
And then square root of 160 would be what?
The square root of 160 is
Alexa, what is the square root of
12.644 for
2 times the square root of 10.
2 times the
So
square
4
root
times the
of
square root of 10.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
No, because the square root of 10 is an ongoing number. It's like a
I know.
What is the square root of 160?
Square root of
It's
160 would be square root of 16
12.64.
times square root of 10.
160 is
It is bad number.
Okay, so how would I input that? Because there's no real square root of it. So I would do
Oh, no. That's good.
oh wait, how do I do it?
What number are you on?
6 right now.
What did you get in the radical?
I simplified it for right now to x equals -3 plus or minus square root of 160 over 4.
Square root of 160?
Yes.
Uh,
It wouldn't be the square root of 160 though, because you needed to add 9.
you forgot
Yeah.
the b squared.
Yeah.
So it'd be 169. Oh, okay. Square root of 160.
And the square root of 169 is 13. Just in case you were wondering.
So x equals -3 plus 13 would be
None of us are at school, Nick.
That's right. That's why we're all too cool for school.
over 4. Square root of 73.
The square root of 73 is approximately 8.544.
So I'm looking at number 16, and I got -7 plus or minus the square root of 193 over 18. But then I look at the answer thing, and it's 7 plus or minus 193 over 18 instead of negative. How would you get
What did you get?
So I got -7 plus or minus the square root of 193 over 18. But on the answer guide, it was +7 plus or minus the square root of 193 over 18. And it doesn't make sense how you could get a positive there because you're subtracting it from one side to the next. So there's no possible way that you can get it to be like that.
What did you, when you moved everything to one side, what does your equation say?
So it would be 9n squared minus 7n minus 4
Yeah.
equals 0. And then from there, I got -7 plus or minus.
No, it'd be the opposite of -7. Remember?
The opposite of b.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
That's where you messed up.
Okay, I got it.
You forgot about the opposite.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Welcome. I'm on 10 right now. -2 x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, x 2 -2 square roots or negative, so that'd be positive 12 all under 2. Square root of 16.
The square root of 16 is 4.